So this video is just mainly to start introducing a way where I can visually point you at how your inner world might be functioning. Of course, I don't know how your inner world actually is being experienced. Only you can know that. But I can be there to point you towards what kind of things you may be feeling, what kind of things you may be experiencing, and giving you a sort of visual reference for that based on how I've experienced it within me. Of course, at the end of the day, each of us is going to have our own unique experiences, but this may help to sort of visualize things that we usually don't know how to visualize, right? And in my case today, I'm just going to go with daily examples as I've been trying to do. This is ones that are generally there overall. Is one jaw. It feels like like this clenching feeling. Another one is this tightness, like a compression that's happening around the chest. Even actually in this area, it feels like this pressure almost. So there's different things that are happening, and at the same time actually here there's this feeling of like expansion wanting to happen, and then at the same time this counter force. And I mean, for me, more than anything, I think this is just like valuable to express, just because maybe it can help you understand visually what might be happening within you, if you have anything. Another thing that happens actually that I notice, that I especially now, is this almost sense of like disorientation. It feels almost like there's like a complete fog that builds up within the sort of headspace area, and it feels like gets like heavy, and then from there, this disorientation happens because it feels like all these, I don't know if it's thoughts that come in, mixture with thoughts, with emotions, with whatever it is. It feels like kind of like you've mixed in a bunch of stuff together, and it's become this like jumble of things, and then it just feels, like all just jumbled up and blah, 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 blah. And it just like, it just feels very disorientating. So I found myself, at some point today here, walking around, not really knowing, like I didn't know what thing I wanted to do first or second or whatever. I just arrived in a new place. I'm staying for a bit. It's not mine. I'm just being hosted by friends at the moment. And so I think it's also has to do with this whole having your system, and then you don't have this system. You don't know where to get, for example, groceries, at least not for cheap. It's quite expensive in this sort of area. And I can't really find the things that I'm looking for, the things that I'm usually used to. So all these kinds of things coming up, how do I get around here? Because here it's not so much walking, it's more you have to get around with some kind of transportation. Not like typical European cities where you can just like get out and walk. So yeah, there's all these things to consider, and then there's well, I'm trying to sort of start up my offering to people, which is what I'm doing here through the videos, as well as to give people the opportunity for me to hold space for the things that come up for them, whatever it may be, and actually empower people to realize that everything that comes up from them can be witnessed, and in that it can be released. So whatever it may be, anxiety, stress, frustration, whatever you want to call the emotions, whatever names you want to give it, it doesn't really matter what it is, because at the end of the day, it can be observed, it can be witnessed. And once you can recognize that, whatever that is, it can start to lose power. But first we have to be able to recognize it. First we have to have that awareness and be willing to look at it. And once we're willing to do that, it can dissolve. It might be somewhere or wherever, I don't know, in the body, and it's I think it can help to give it a character, whatever character that may be, whether it's in colors, whether it's in like sound effects, or like kind of visual, as I was doing. You start to identify what exactly is happening there, and then you're like, there's that thing. You don't even need to give it a name. You don't need to give it anything. It's just like, you're like, there's something there. Whatever. Feels like stuckness, let's say. Whatever. Doesn't matter. And then you can dissolve it. You can, you can pop that bubble of whatever it is. Maybe it takes some time, but it can happen instantly as well. It can literally be like a quantum shift. So yeah, I'm curious if you have any of that. Share it in the comments. Write me an email in my description on my YouTube channel. There's the email. There's also my Instagram handle there. You can DM me on Instagram if you like. Yeah, share with me. I would be curious to find out what it is that's coming up for you. Love you.